Hey, welcome back to my channel. Or if you're a new viewer, hi, my name is Michelle. Thank you so much for coming to hang out with us today. I have the new Kylie Cosmetics and Grinch collab palette. I also picked up her Littlest of Whos highlighter. So when I first saw this palette launch on Instagram, there was a little girl inside of me that was super excited and had to have this palette because it's the Grinch. I cannot tell you how many times I've watched The Grinch growing up. Even recently, I've watched it just about every Christmas for as long as I've been on this earth. So when I saw that Kylie collabed with The Grinch, I knew instantly that I wanted this palette. Super cute outside. Actually, the sleeve looks the same way. The palette and the sleeve. And then the inside looks like that. So you've got a mirror. It's got the Grinch. Really beautiful. Very neutral. And if I'm being totally honest, when I first saw the color story, I was like, where's the deep greens? Like, where's the real grungy kind of green? Not necessarily grungy, but that bright Grinch green, you know what I mean? I don't know. Part of me is a little bummed they didn't do more with the green aspect of things, but this is, by and large, a neutral palette with some greens, with a pop of green instead of pop of blue. So anyway, I'm really excited to have it. I'm excited to share it with you guys today. I'm also excited that I picked up the Littlest of Whos highlighter. I like the packaging on this. Really beautiful, the plastic green packaging. And then that's what it looks like on the inside there. So this is just a really bright, like white. It does have a little bit of pink in there, kind of highlight. I've actually never used Kylie's highlight formula before, so I don't know what I'm going to think about this. I'm hoping it's good. So for today's video, I'm going to create at least 2 different eye looks for you guys just to see kind of like what we can do with this palette. I want to do something that leans a little bit more green, and then the other one we're going to do something a little bit more neutral. So if that sounds interesting to you and you want to see how this palette performs, be sure to keep watching. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel yet, but you've been lurking, you like my content, you like makeup and beauty talk, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button before you click off today. Let's get into this first impression. So this palette is currently sold out on their website. Actually, it sold out pretty quickly. When I saw that it launched, I jumped over there really fast and I picked it up with a quickness because I knew that it was going to sell out. If for nothing else, again, it's a Grinch. It's the Grinch. I mean, who doesn't love the Grinch? I went ahead and swatched the first 2 rows. So that's what we have here. Okay. Nothing revolutionary, just being honest. I gotta say, just after like first swatch, touching these shimmers, I am not that excited about them. They swatched very dry, especially this shade here, which is called, it's really hard to read the wording unless you get it at right, just the right angle. So when I'm trying to like do this for you guys, I cannot read the damn wording. It's kind of frustrating. Mount Crumpet is that second shade in right there. It just swatched super dry and like powdery and was not that impressive. The shade right next to it called Heart 2 Sizes Too Small, which is this one here. I had a really hard time getting any payoff. And then another one right here, same thing. Really hard time getting any kind of payoff with it. It was really dry. And the first time I swatched it, there was literally no pigment. I need to show you. I even scraped off the top layer thinking it would help. No, it didn't. Watch. I'm getting in there. Okay? Really getting in there. And this is all I get. You see it? Do you see it? Right here. I'm a little nervous about these shimmer shades, and that's kind of disappointing. I know we're just swatching right now, and I still have to play with them on the eyes, but that's like that's one of the reasons why I got this palette is because I love the shimmer shades, and I thought they were really beautiful. If that's any indication of how these are going to apply to my eyeballs, I'm upset. Okay, and that is the second 2 rows. I know the swatches aren't pretty. You're going to have to forgive me. I'm not the best swatcher. And really, swatches only tell part of the story. They're not going to show you exactly how a palette works. You really need to use it on the eyes to get a full representation of how the powders perform. Now, the mattes didn't swatch bad. The mattes swatched really nicely. It's the shimmers that swatched like garbage. And that makes me super sad inside because shimmers are my favorite. So I've already prepped the lids with the clean canvas eye base from Gerard Cosmetics. I have no idea what I want to do. I just know that I want to do a more green toned look on one side and a more neutral look on the other. I'm so bummed about these shimmers. Actually, what I had done when I saw this palette drop, I immediately wanted to do like a dupe that palette video like I did with my Melt Cosmetics Beetlejuice collection and what was the other one that I did? The Trio Chrome from Natasha Denona. I wanted to do a video similar to that with this palette because I just had this feeling that the quality was not going to be that great. And the shades that I picked out for it, I was really pleased with, and I have some amazing shimmer shadows in my collection. So I think what I'm going to do is if I use this and I'm not 100% thrilled with how it performs and how everything looks, I'm going to create another video doing it my own way, making my own damn Grinch palette. If you guys would like to see that, let me know down below. I really like making those videos. I think they're a lot of fun. It's nice to dip into stuff that you already own and then create, something that you really want. That way you're not spending that extra money and just using what you already have. I kind of want to put that really pretty mint shade all over my lid. This one here is called Who Pudding, and it's that lighter mint shade here. I'm going to use this to work into my transition area. I'm using my Sonia G Classic Crease Brush. It's a brush that I use all the time when I'm doing my eyeshadow. Won't have to blame nothing on the brushes. I will link everything else that I'm wearing on my face in the description box below, in case you're interested. We're just going to blend that green all over. There's a lot of kick up, which that doesn't really bother me as long as I don't have a lot of fallout. Kick up in the pan, it's powder. If you dip into it with a brush, more often than not, you're going to get a little bit of kick up. Now, ABH kick up is a whole other story. It's to be expected. I don't know why people are so surprised when there's kick up in the pan. Okay. I mean, it's a pretty enough shade. It was easy to blend. No problems with that one. All right, the next shade that I'm going to use is called Green and Mean, and that's this one here. It's just the deeper of the two matte green shades. And I'm using my Sonia G Mini Booster Brush. Okay, let me try something different because it's really not deepening up any more than what it is right now. I should probably just leave it alone. I have a bad habit of wanting to make things deeper and darker and more vibrant, and then it ends up looking cray-cray. I'm going to go back into that deeper green, and I'm going to use a packing brush. This is the Sonia G Builder Pro, one of my favorite brushes for this. Let's see if I can get it to build, because it's just not that pigmented. That's better, for sure. Maybe this is the type of shadow that you need to put over top of a tacky base. Maybe that would help make it pop a little bit more. Because the Gerard Cosmetics base, it can be tacky, but once it sets down, it isn't tacky anymore. Ooh, well, we got two different shimmery green shades. We have the one that I was thinking about using, which is Mount Crumpet. I hate the lettering on these. You can barely read it. Which is this one up here, the really pretty shimmery green. Or we can use the one that's called Last Can of Who Hash. Like, how cute is that? Which is this shade right here. And the Last Can of Who Hash is quite stunning. It's chunky. She's a chunky something. But she's pretty. Real chunky. But I like that. That's really pretty. I don't know. There is a darker shade of green in this palette. It's called Stocking Full of Coal. It's this one up here. It's just like your typical grungy kind of green. Like that army green. Let's see how that bad boy performs. I am a little nervous about this one. And then we're going to throw that shimmer on the lid and we might move on to the other eye. Because I'm not feeling it. Like it's blending away. Do you see that? Do you see how it just literally blended away? What the hell? It won't even build. Are you serious? Hold on. I'm gonna get closer so you can see just how tragic this is. Do you see that? Watch when I try to build this color. Okay, I'm packing it on. And there's like a distinct line right there. You see that? Wow. And then if I do like that, it just blends away. That, you've got to be kidding me. That is that green? How is what I just blended this green? For reals? Yeah, this is like the most disappointed I've been with a palette in a very long time. And I hate to be like that because I can make just about any palette work. This one, this ain't it, sis. I think what I'm gonna do, just, you never know. It could be the base that I put it over top of. Maybe it needs something tacky to stick to. And if that's the case, I'm gonna put P. Louise on this side and then we're gonna pack it on when it's tacky. I just hate having to like alter my routine or alter the way I do things because an eyeshadow is not formulated very well. This is like so disappointing. To pay what, $40 some for a palette and have it performed like this is tragic. I'm just gonna go ahead and throw a shimmer on the lid because I mean, what the hell else am I gonna do with that? Oh, that's frustrating. I'm gonna go ahead and use my finger to pack that really beautiful shimmer shade, that last can of Who Hash, on the inner part of my lid and see what happens here. It's gonna end up all over my face, I have a feeling. I probably should have put down a glitter primer. Now that's pretty. That's pretty. But I didn't pay $40 some for one shade. If I ever do that, y'all need to come for me. Y'all need to just take me out. That's super pretty, but this matte situation out here is just not. It's not it. I don't even know what to do. Like, it's chunky looking. I don't know how I feel about it. I'm afraid it's gonna get my damn eye. Like, I need something deeper to pack over here. Let me try that deeper green one more time. Maybe it'll stick better to this shimmer shade. A little bit. Okay, well, that's that. This side, we're going to do something different. I think I'm going to do something a little bit more like brown, neutral type of look. I'm going to dip into the mustardy shade. It's called Who's Who down here. Like, to me, so far, the vibe I'm getting from this is that this was just like a money grab. The quality is just subpar. It's just not good. Let me use my P. Louise base and see if that makes a difference. Okay, let's see what happens now that I have that laid down. Maybe that'll make a difference. I freaking hope so. Now, typically when I'm using P. Louise base, I'll build up something dark in the crease first, and then I'll blend it out with a lighter shade. So I figure that's probably what I should do here. I'm gonna dip into the shade called, what is this? Snarled with a Sneer. God, I hate the wording on this. So hot. Like, I gotta get right up to it and twist it sideways for me to be able to see it. Maybe I'm just old and my vision's rough. I don't know. I'm gonna use the same kind of brush I would always use in this circumstance. This is the Morphe E18. It's a really good brush for just building up color in that crease if you're like stamping color on, because it's really dense and it's dome shaped and it fits right in that little pocket there. So let's do that with Snarled with a Sneer. I'm a little scared, I ain't gonna lie. And we have pigment, folks. But it doesn't matter what I do with those shimmer shades. Well, I guess I could use like a glitter glue. That would probably help. This isn't gonna help the shimmer shades. I'm also gonna pack that onto my lid on this outer corner here. This is just not my favorite formula at all. It's very powdery. It's not very pigmented. Definitely looks better now that I'm doing it like this. But if you're not putting it onto a tacky base, you don't expect a whole lot. Okay, now what I'm going to do is take the same brush and I'm going to go half on, half off with the shade Who's Who. And that's this really pretty mustard shade here. These other shimmer shades are laughable. Like, I'm not even joking. The dark one down here is not bad. That's literally the only solid shimmer shade in the entire palette. The rest are laughable. The shades Heart 2 sizes too small, which is supposed to be like a duochrome. It's supposed to be like a gold to green duochrome or a pink to green duochrome. It sucks. There's no payoff. What if I used a brush? Let me just, I mean, I'm trying, guys. I really am. Nope, still tragic with a brush. I don't get it. I'm going to take this tiny little brush from Morphe. This is their M507. And start dragging the shade Who's Who forward here. Like, as soon as I start blending over top of what I already packed down, it just fluffs away. How are you going to charge $40-some for a palette that's trash? I said it. Fight me. If anybody gets on here and raves about this palette, they're full of shit. They are lying to your ass. I can't get over it. I'm going to go around the edges here with that mustard shade. I'm just like, I'm done with this look. I want to be done with it. I want to be done with this palette. I don't know that I'll ever use it again, and I'm not joking. What a waste of money. I mean, my options for the shimmer shade are really limited. I am going to go ahead and take the shade Shine On, which is the deeper, like, bronzy shade down here, because that one's actually not too bad. And with a finger, I'm going to tap it on the outer corner here. I don't know what to do for the inner corner, because I'm just not happy with the other shades. Fuck. Alright, let's go ahead and do it anyway. Let's take the shade You're a Mean One, and that's that, like, goldy shade down here. I'm going to use a finger first, and we're going to see. Okay, I went ahead and I really got in there. Okay. I mean, it's showing up a little bit. More than what I thought it was going to, if I'm just being honest. But, I mean, I dug my finger in it. That's not awful. That doesn't look terrible. Maybe it's just because I'm so spoiled when it comes to, like, my indie shadows. I know what a good shimmer shade is. I know what a good sparkly, foiled, gorgeous, out-of-this-world, stunning, shimmery shade is. So when I see something other than that, or when I feel a formula that's, like, hard-pressed and I really have to work to get it out of the pan, and when I put it on, I'm just like, like, it just makes me sad. It makes me die a little bit inside. I have very high expectations, I guess, when it comes to those types of shades, because I know what they could be. There's so much potential there. It's just like the guy that's no good for you, right? He has all this potential. You know what he really could be if you just, you know, a little bit of finessing and what he could be. Those are the kinds of shimmer shadows and men that I don't want in my life. I'm not looking for a half-assed product or a half-assed man. I do have a little bit of fallout down here, which I figured was going to happen because I've been digging in these damn shadows. I mean, it's not the worst look I've ever done, but it's also not the best. It's also not my favorite. Okay, what I'm going to do now is pack some color on that lower lash line, do my lashes, and then I think we'll go over my thoughts on this palette, as if I needed to. Okay, to finish up the eye looks, what I did was take some of the same matte colors that I used in my crease and transition areas on both eyes, put them on the lower lash line. I used a angled liner brush to, like, stamp it on that lower lash line, and then I blew it out with a fluffy brush. As far as the mascara goes, I used the Benefit Roller Lash, and then for my lower waterline on this side, I used the LA Girl Pastel Dream eyeliner. I don't know that I would say that's really pastel. I would call it more of like a bright lime green, but I really like it. That's that side. And then on this side, I used the Kohl eyeliner from Wet n Wild. It's in the shade Pretty in Mink. I use this all the time because it's a good brown eyeliner. And that completes both eye looks. Let's recap my thoughts on this palette. Oh, and the lips, I'm using the Lunar Blue. On the lips, I'm using the Lunar Beauty lip gloss in the shade Starlight. Oh, Kylie. So much could have been done with this palette. This palette could have been absolutely incredible. It could have been something special, something that people could, like, covet and rave about, and it just could have been something so fun and different. This was not my favorite palette. If this had better formulas in it, it would have been a much better palette, but the mattes, they blend away. I mean, I think I got better results using the P. Louise base, so using a tacky base is probably best. If you use it over top of a powder base, or you use it over top of something that's dry, the shit just blends away. The colors blend into each other. When you go to pack them on, they literally just wipe away. You guys saw that when I was blending on the outside of my eye on this side. I'm just super disappointed. It's an expensive palette. It's something I was really excited to get, and I just feel like it could have been done so much better. And you're paying for the name. With this one, you're paying for the name, and you're paying for the fact that it's the Grinch collab. If I could go back and not buy this palette, that's what I would do. I just wouldn't have purchased it at all. These eye looks aren't horrible. Like, I've definitely had worse eye looks, for sure. But the process of getting them to be cohesive and just everything about it, the formulas, it wasn't a good time. I don't care for them. So when it comes to my overall opinion on this palette, I cannot recommend this to you guys. I could not, in good faith, tell you guys this is a good palette and you need to go grab it. I've had so much better from way more affordable brands. So those are my thoughts. Oh, I didn't even do the highlighter. Okay, we gotta try the highlighter real quick. My expectations are not high on this one. Let me just tell you that. Given how poorly the eyeshadow palette performed, I'm not expecting a miracle with this highlighter. I really hope at least something good came out of this collection. Okay, I'm gonna take the same brush I always use for my highlight. This brush is from Complex Culture. I think it's a brand from Ipsy, and it's their all-over highlight brush. Okay, that's kind of pretty. Is there green? There's green in that. I kind of like that. Ooh. Now it's making my cheeks look a little textured because I'm older, okay? I got pores on the cheeks. I do have texture there. And some highlighters just do that. Oh, I like that it's green. I couldn't tell by looking at it that there was green in here. It almost looks that it's going to have like a pink reflect to it. Can you guys see the green? It's a little hard pressed, just like the damn eyeshadows are. Well, the shimmer eyeshadows. So you really got to work your brush in there. You would have to be in the mood for something that's a little bit different, wearing this green highlighter. I like that though. I don't think I have one like this that's a green. I've got really colorful highlighters, but the ones I have are like pink and orange. This is kind of pretty. I kind of like this. I just, I don't like how it's emphasizing my texture, but it is what it is. We're human. We're not made out of plastic. We're gonna have texture. I don't know. I kind of like the fact that it's shifty green. I like that. I don't know how I feel about the actual formula. Definitely, if you have a lot of texture on your cheeks or really big pores around your cheek area, you might not like this. If you're like me and you don't give a shit one way or the other and you're going to wear what you want to wear and do what makes you happy, you might like that. I don't hate it. It is what it is. I like the green shifty aspect of this highlighter, so I don't regret picking this up. This is fun. So that wraps up my thoughts, my first impressions of this palette. It's going to be my first impression and probably my last impression because there's nothing about this palette that makes me want to dip back into it, just being honest. I think that for the amount of money you're paying for it, the quality should be top notch, and it's not. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you were somebody that hasn't grabbed this palette yet, but you really wanted to, please save your money. Please don't spend your money on this. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. If you made it this far in the video but you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, please don't forget to do that before leaving. Ring that notification bell so you don't miss my future uploads, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.